Oh, God, help me. Hello, and welcome to the Communication Breakdown, episode number 10. I am your host, Sandra. Thank you for tuning in. With me, as always, tonight is my co-host, my brother, cohort, partner in crime, the big, furry, fuzzy, fun-loving Viking dude, Gary, Big G Tholander. Hey,
What up? What's up, peeps?
how's it going?
It's going.
I got a
You know.
couple of shout-outs. Rosendo and Jojo and Ricky. Love you guys.
Hey.
I want to thank some channel donations, George Lackey, Fruitcake Tony, and you. So thank you. Check out the PayPal link. If you donate $1 or $2, I'll send you a Sugar Skull pic. They're really fucking cool. Check out the band Crimson Glory if you haven't. And that's it for me. What do you got?
I got Lemmy. That's all I got.
Lemmy is God.
He is. And RB3 Pedals, my buddy Russ's shop, who will be on the show soon. I spoke to him last night.
Ooh.
Yep, probably sometime in August.
Very cool.
Yeah. So what's new with you?
I have some, well, it's to be announced, but some very exciting news for the show.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say anything. There's no spoiler alerts, but yeah.
I'm stoked.
It's going to be huge.
Yep. Huge.
So if you are in the chat and watching and listening, please leave a like and a comment to consider subscribing to the links in the description. Please be kind to one another or you're booted. Sorry, not sorry. That's the rules. Be nice or go away. Ladies and gentlemen, kids of all ages, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce guitarist, father extraordinaire, and all-around cool dude, Benton.
Yo. Just in time for the ice cream man.
I know, right?
Hi, buddy. Oh, he's texting and driving.
It never fails. Always the ice cream man.
Always.
So how are you guys doing tonight?
Good, brother. How about you?
Good, really good.
How's my boy Kyan doing?
Kyan's awesome. Kyan's doing great. So
Is he going to be joining later on or no?
No, I wanted him to, but my parents took him back to their house because
right.
I get everything. I have his bedroom is basically like a storage locker now.
Right.
Until I get everything set up the way it needs to be, it was just too much for him.
Yeah, you're having new floors and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you give him hugs for us.
Oh, I definitely will. I don't know if I told you the other day, Gary, or it might have been in chat, so I don't know if you missed it, but
chat hashtag we love Kyan.
He just he lights up. Like when he saw both of you say hi to him, he just lit up. And I'll tell you what, Kyan can judge a person within about 5 seconds, and he sees through to your soul, and he knows good people when he sees good people, and right away he just loved both of you.
He's such a sweet kid, man. I love him to death.
I was like, Gary, and he goes, "Do you mean Uncle Gary?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course it's Uncle Gary." I said, that doesn't come easy, but if Kyan decides you're Uncle Gary for life.
Yep. That's cool. That is so cool.
And the first time you see him in person, you better be ready. He's going to rush you and give you a bear hug.
Nice.
Very cool.
Can't wait.
Definitely.
That's cool.
So who's in the chat, guys?
Oh, roll call.
Roll call.
Let's see. Let us see. We have first in the house was Dogpaw. What's up, brother?
Hey,
Mr. Rick Hefner. Mr. Rick Hefner.
Hey, Rick.
D White. D White Bailey.
Hey, Dwight.
Hey, Dwight.
Ricky Hefner. What's up, Rick?
What's up, Rick?
Good old Fruitcake Tony. What's up, brother?
Hey,
TK, my man.
And
the man of a million picks.
And Janice Lala. What's up, kiddo?
Hey, Janice. How are you?
Congratulations on the trivia win earlier, Janice.
Oh, yes.
Hell yeah.
I heard about that.
Hellface was the other one, but I'm not. Was he in here yet or no?
No, I don't see him.
Okay. Yeah, he was the other trivia winner, so it was kind of cool.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Sweet. So what's new with Tom?
Not much, just staying busy. Same old stuff. Trying to reorganize everything. I was saying earlier to a couple people, so just so they're not worried, because I was talking to them earlier and told them I was thinking about selling off like a majority of my stuff I'm not using. And they're like, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" I'm like, "I'm absolutely fine. It's just that I think I have option paralysis from too much stuff, you know." Seriously. So I'm thinking about, and I don't need the money right now, but I'm thinking about clearing it out just to make some room. So I talked to a couple people earlier, and they're like, just put it in the basement for 6 months. That way, if you decide you do want it, it's still there.
Yep.
So I'm trying to pare down a little bit, but other than that, it's been the same thing. They canceled summer school, so I'm off work till last week in August. So,
Nice, as long as you can collect.
yeah, I'm trying to work out that now. That's an interesting thing. If anyone doesn't know, I work with special needs, abused, and disabled kids in a local school system. So it's a fine line in Pennsylvania if you can collect unemployment, because technically I still have a job, but it's never happened before in the history of the school system where they just shut down summer school completely, and it's the first year. So we'll see. Hopefully they allow me to collect.
Yeah. Well, when you go to apply, they have an option for furloughed, which is kind of like being laid off.
That's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're going back to work, you just don't know when.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. I'm hoping if it's safe, I hope it's September. If it's not, then I'm going to listen to whatever they say. I don't want to be an idiot and be a numbskull, but I don't know at this point. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I got laid off, it was supposed to be for like a couple of weeks, and ended up being almost 4 months.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I filed for unemployment on March 29th. That was like my last day of work. I didn't get my first check until the end of June.
Wow.
So now I'm back to work. Been back to work for like a month, but now I'm fighting to get all the back pay for March.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm fighting with the state of Florida about that.
You're not alone, man. There's
I know.
Millions of people having problems getting the money that's owed to them, or they have to pay back because too much was.
Well, the funny thing too is like when they sent out like $1,200 to everyone that filed a tax return, I filed mine. I always do. I send it in. So as a single parent of 2 kids, I should have been getting $2,200. Well, they sent me a check for $1,200. And then I said, well, what about the other $500 per child? Well, we'll look into that. And they said, well, you might hear back from us by January as to whether or not you'll even get the money. And I wasn't too worried, because that wasn't like money. Like yours is money you earn. You should be earning. So mine was just a gift, I guess you could say. So I wasn't like, what can I do if they don't give it to me? But what was messed up, I said, then can I apply for unemployment like you were saying during this furlough time? And they said, well, we don't know. That's on a state-by-state basis. You have to apply to the state. So what I took from that is squeaky wheel gets the grease. If 80% of people don't complain, we're not paying them jack. And we'll just out the 20% of people who actually spend their time and do it. So anyway, but Dogma said I scared him. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm fine.
Fruitcake Tony has been promoted.
Nice.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
The power's going to go to his head.
Yep.
All of a sudden, it's just going to be like, Gary, it's just going to be Sandra. You and I are going to get shut off. And then...
Yep. He'll block us.
Yeah, for sure.
Big power tripping in.
So I'm ready. Any questions you guys have, I'm ready to answer.
Well,
I got a very tiny brain. I'm still thinking.
How old were you when you started playing? What made you say, that's what I want to pursue more. That's what I want to do. I want to mess around and play guitars.
Good question.
When did that all come about?
My first memory of wanting to play guitar was probably about 4 or 5 years old.
Very cool.
But I met my best friend, who's named Joe, that I've known since we were literally first day of preschool. We met. We were like 4 years old, or kindergarten it was, whatever. I guess preschool. And so I'll be 44 this year, so I will have known him 40 years this coming year. But that's, I mean, might as well be a biological brother. Like I call his parents mom and dad, and so his uncle is about 17 or 18 years older than us. So this would have been about like 81, 82, somewhere in there. So he was a teenager and we were just little kids. And so he had a big boombox, and he goes, "Here, listen to this," and he just pushes the button, and I hear the very end to Running with the Devil, and then I hear doom doom doom, bah! And I hear a rock, and I'm like, what just happened?
Right.
So I was a huge Van Halen nut since I was, like I said, was like probably 5 years old.
Cool.
I didn't get a guitar till later. I started playing drums in school when I was, I think, 9 years old. I started playing, snare drums, and then I started playing on a kit. I was about 12, but as soon as I started playing on a kit, I was like, this is fun, but this is not what I want to do. So my best friend Joe was already playing drums. He's like, man, you need to play guitar. Like, I can play drums. So I started playing guitar at about 12 years old. So I guess, about 31 years ago. And I got from the local music store, Menchie's Music, still there, mom and pop shop. And I think it was like $100 or something. I got a Washburn Lion, SSH, single hum, kind of Jackson soloist shredder guitar ripoff for, $80. And then $20, I got a Crate G10 amp. I wish I still had both of those.
Nice.
But it took me 6 months to realize the little cushion in the middle gives you distortion. I thought I just had a clean amp for 6 months, and I was pissed. So I went and I bought a DoD FX56 Super Distortion. I think it's called Super Distortion. And so that was it. And I was off and running, and I played that for like a couple of years. I'll answer the doctor's question in 1 second because I didn't get that so much later. And then from there, I played that same guitar for, I want to say, till like a couple of years. And my parents knew I was serious about it. And then on my birthday, I forget if I was 15 or 16, it was 93, 94, somewhere in there. I wanted a Les Paul. That's all I wanted. I didn't care about anything else. That's all I wanted. And for a couple of years I waited. And then I remember specifically that year for my birthday, my parents bought me a Les Paul Studio. And when I had financial troubles, I actually got rid of it. And just last year, a friend of mine, I found it on Reverb, and then I was like, fudge! Someone already bought it out from under me. Well, it turns out my buddy bought it, knowing that I was looking at it, and he brings me over to his house, and he goes, "Hey, look at the guitar I just got." And I go, "Damn it, you son of a bitch! You bought my guitar!" And he goes, "Do you want to play it?" So I start playing it, and he goes, "No, it's for you." He's like, "That's for you." And I just lost it. I started crying, and I teared up. I was like, I haven't seen this guitar in 20 years.
Wow.
And it fits like a glove. So now I have it in the other room. Like, not the same model, the same guitar that was mine, because I looked inside the cavity, and I had scratched my initials. My middle name is Francis. So it said TFH, scratching the initials, and it was the date when I got the guitar. I'm like, yeah, that's my guitar.
Wow.
So that was my second guitar. I played that with, a little combo amp, and then saved my money. I was mowing lawns, and I got a JCM 800 half stack, which I wish I still had. And I played that amp till I went to college. So I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, and I knew I could play music at least well enough that I could fake my way through that. So I auditioned to every music school I could, and I got into 3 schools. So the school that I got into that was the best school, or best schools, I got into Berkeley, and I got into University of Miami. So my parents said, well, we're not paying for you to go to Berkeley, because if you fail out of the music, you're screwed. So they're like, well, Miami's actually a real university, the way they called it, a real university, which I found offensive, because I think I would have rather just gone to Berkeley. So I go there, and I got to take all the regular ed classes and stuff, but I was in the music school. So I went to school down there. I had a scholarship, which paid for most of it, which was nice. But I met RJ, that's how I know him, RJ Ronquillo, when I was down there. Now, he was a performance major. I was like a audio engineering major, so I took all the same music classes, but I didn't take as many performance classes. Hence why I don't perform as well, but my theory knowledge is still the same as anyone who's gone to music school. So I went to school there. I had a financial issue about 3 years in, so I couldn't afford it anymore, and I transferred school. So I finished music school in Pennsylvania. I went to Duquesne University in Pittsburgh. So being a state school, it was a lot cheaper. And so I finished my music education there, and got out. I worked in the recording studio for about a year, and then never made a dime in music after that, unfortunately. So I've done everything. I've worked mostly in IT, and then I got back to working with kids. So, at this point, it's mostly like a hobby for me, jamming with people once in a while and that kind of thing. But that's kind of my path. So I didn't do a lot of playing in high school. I only played out a couple of times. I did a lot of jamming. But my problem with playing out in public is I have horrible anxiety. Like, my stage fright is, like, I literally shake like this. So the only time I would perform on stage is if it was with people I knew, like in a closed environment, or when I was at school, it was always in a jazz environment. So it's kind of like Sandra could probably relate to, like a classical environment where it was always set music. Like if I had to be on stage like with a live band, like a jam situation, my nerves would just be off the chart. Whereas if I had a chart to follow and I had a booth in front of me playing jazz, I could do it all night because you could just hide behind that booth and kind of just play your chords. So that was kind of my path. I have a couple local friends I jam with once in a while around here now, but being a single father to 2 kids, it's like the time becomes difficult that you can actually set everything up and and do all that. But I'm the most verbose person, and I will get way off track if you let me. So I'll stop right there. But to answer the Doghouse question, I picked up the Roman wrist guitar actually in a trade. It was actually a guy on the not Les Paul forum, but the My Les Paul forum, which if you've ever been on, there's some nice people, and some of the people are just as bad as the gear page. Some people tell you if you're not playing the right tone wood that you suck at guitar, and some people are normal people. So anyway,
right.
I got off of that page because there was a lot of weirdos. But before I got off the page, there was a guy selling it. I had no idea what it was. I thought it looked like a cool guitar. And I don't want to upset the dog club because he was involved in this, and so he knows what these guitars were worth. But this guy didn't know what he had, and I bought it for $300. So the guitar I have was made by a guy named Roman Wrist, who was like the protege to Max Baronet. Now, Dogfoot can correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to go any further because he knows the history. He actually was involved with and designed the headstock on the guitar. So he can tell you more about that. That's why he was curious about it. And I told him if I ever sell it or if I ever get rid of it, he gets first right of refusal because he actually was involved in making these guitars. It was his design.
Cool.
Wow.
So, yeah. So that's what the story was with that. I bought it for $300 off of this page online and took a chance, and it's a cool guitar, So
very cool, man. Oh,
I think Dogwood said he did the same thing. He took music classes, but not really performance. He did the recording part of the school, which is what I did. So I still took jazz piano, classical guitar, jazz guitar, theory, harmony, counterpoint, 18th century counterpoint, all that stuff. But I also took like acoustics, thermodynamics, calculus, physics, electronics, all that not so fun stuff.
Yeah, right.
But,
yeah, I think I took guitar lessons for 6 months when I was like 13. And I still suck.
I think there's good and bad things about it. I think it made me a little too much of a programmed player. That's the negative I see. But it's great when you're like 13 and you have a question and there's no internet because it doesn't exist yet.
Right.
That's when it's awesome. These days, I think you can get away with it as a young person just learning on YouTube.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe Skype lessons. I think one-on-one's amazing, but I think, and people are going to shoot me down, this is just my personal opinion, I think in-person's amazing, but once you get to a digital thing, there's this disconnect. Like, I would always jam with my teacher every lesson, and when you even have a little bit of lag, there's a disconnect. Like, when I taught kids, because I had to teach when I was in college, and I suck at teaching, but I taught high school and college kids who were, already playing guitar, maybe like intermediate, closer to intermediate, usually I taught. But I had some beginners, but when you can reach over and say, no, put your finger here, and literally move their finger, that's so valuable, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Say, no, up that way. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, man. The downside to personal instructors, sometimes you just don't feel like playing. It's like, shit, I got to go to my guitar lesson at 6 o'clock on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you just don't, you're not feeling it. You know what I mean? It's like, then it seems like kind of like a chore, but.
I had an 8:45 guitar lesson on a Thursday night when I was 21 years old. You know how many times I had to cancel that lesson? You know how many of my friends were ready to hit the pre-game at 8:45 on a Thursday night?
Yeah.
Thursday in college was the biggest night.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you made my, and it was for credit. It was a college class. I'm like, can we please change this?
I'm in Shaman.
He's like, you want to go have a couple beers, don't you? And I'm like, honestly, yes. And he goes, well, you were the first guy that was honest with me, so we will change it.
Hey, Mitchell, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Mitch? I got to get together with Mitch in person once we're able to like move around like normal people, because he's
Me too.
He's like 30 minutes or less from my parents' house. He's like an hour and a half from me. Yeah.
Oh, shit. He's a little bit further away from me.
Yeah. Smart as fuck.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah, man, he knows his stuff. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Oh.
Mitch, you're smart as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, Mitch. 12-hour day, huh? Wow.
Yeah, that's a long day.
Now, I'm curious for Mitch, if he can answer in the chat. I'm curious, do they base his retirement on what his hours were the last year? Because if they're based on last year's hours, that's a good thing for him. You know what I mean? Like my aunt was a retired teacher.
Yeah.
Her last year, she cranked in those hours as much as she could, and then her retirement went way up.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works, to be honest with you.
But if they're not, that just sucks. Like your last month, how could you 12-hour days? No one wants to do that, you know. It's like 1 foot out the door, right?
Yep. They got to get that little last bit of torture in before they turn you loose. You know?
That's exactly what it is. You know? Turn that screw a little bit more, right?
Oh, you're going to retire, huh?
Watching, 6 thumbs up. Are you kidding me?
People, come on now.
I'm worth more.
Thumbs up for Bent Tom. You guys all know him. He's our friend. Give him.
I'm actually not worth anything, but Sandra and Gary are definitely worth more than that many.
Nah, man.
No.
You're an integral part of the guitar community here, son.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
I have the lowest self-esteem, so it never feels.
You're in everybody's head supporting them, and
it feels good to hear it.
My pleasure, sir. You earned it.
I gotta say, you guys are really good at following the chat too. I was trying to do that here real quick, and I'm giving up quickly because I'm horrible at it. I'm trying to just get like, and I don't have an excuse either because I have one of those. I used to do remote IT work. So I have one of those ridiculous like 2.5 foot wide monitors that my old company, helped me pay for.
Congratulations.
So I have no excuse. I have 2 full windows. I should be able to do it. Like.
Yeah, I got 2 screens, but I got to keep looking.
That's why I got the shifty eye thing going on. Like I'm doing this because they're literally like this far apart.
I can't get mine close enough together where it's not obvious. I got to actually turn my head and look.
Someone asked me, they're like, "Are you on something, dude?" I'm like, "No. I'm looking at the other part of the screen. It's just this far over here."
Yeah.
Oh my! So what else? What does anyone want to know? I'm not that interesting, but if they want to know anything,
sure you are, man. I know everything about you, so I don't know what to ask.
I know, right? I'm trying to think what I can tell anyone.
It's like interviewing your mom, It's like,
I know, right? Yeah.
What do I ask mom?
I think, wow. I think everyone knows all the stuff I run, like all the gear I run. And I'll tell you exactly how I run it, because this is the way I am as a person. I'm the most disorganized person you'll ever meet in your life. Yeah, and so I got like an old tie-dye on, and Sandra told me I should probably make my bed because she's so sweet, so I made my bed. But I'm so disorganized. I'm the biggest scatterbrain. Like till the moment I get up in the morning till my bed hits the pillow, my brain's like this all over the place.
Yep.
And it just doesn't slow down. I've got noise constantly in my head. So the way I try and combat that is to try and organize at least small sections. Well, that didn't work today. I'm not going to show you now, but I showed Sandra earlier. I'm sure she can attest to it. I've got a wall of cables. It just looks like the back of like an IT professional nightmare. But I explained, it is a pile of snakes. And I said I had exactly about 15 minutes to rerun. So I run a whole house network system, and I have a backup system, and I have my own network machine, my own computer machine, and then satellite computers. And I run my AC, my locks, my door, my cameras, everything off of one server. So I had to not build the internals, but I had to rewire the entire server in about 15 minutes today, and that's not fun.
No.
Which YouTuber in the guitar community was your first big draw? So I was talking about this the other day. The first show I ever watched was Johnny Bean, but it was like in 2008 or 2010. But I didn't know you could create an account on YouTube, and I certainly had no idea you could ever comment or like or do anything. So
Right.
till about 2016, I watched anonymously on a lot of channels, but that was the first one I ever saw was his channel, and the second channel I ever saw was Justin Guitar.
Okay.
You know, the guy, I think, Justin Sanderco, I think he's either English or Australian, and I feel very geographically ignorant to say that, but I don't remember where he's from. If he's based out of Australia or the UK, but he does, mostly, if you're familiar with him, the guitar lessons and that kind of stuff, but he's been around for years. So I just put guitar in YouTube, and those were the first two that I saw come up. Like I said, probably at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what I was doing. I was never logged in. Oh, what ages was I teaching? When I was teaching in college?
Yes.
So the youngest was probably, for legal reasons, I think the youngest was like 13 or 14. And it was like, in a school, so it's not
right.
going on. And the oldest I taught was like probably 22 or 24. I taught a couple people that were, at the time I was in my early 20s, and I want to say they were my age now, like mid 40s. I taught one guy in his 50s, but that was for a very short period of time. My problem is I would rather almost teach someone for a short period of time and just charge them nothing, because to do it where you're charging someone an X amount of dollars and do it every week, I'm so bad with that. Unless I was doing it full time as a job, I ended up having to cancel lessons and makeup lessons, and it just didn't work out for me to do it like for any kind of money. So I would say, listen, I'll give you like 5 lessons. I'm not going to charge you anything, but I can't teach you full time. It's just not going to work out. It was never the student, but it was always me. So I've done it for people of all different ages like that. The youngest I did was probably 13 or 14. I've never done children because I've heard horror stories like of that just throwing the guitar down or them crying.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Or,
yep.
Maybe now, because I work with a lot of, kids from the ages of 8 to like 12 or 13 now, so maybe I'd be able to handle it better. But at 22, 24 years old, I was not dealing with an 8-year-old that was going to cry during the lesson. It's not going to happen. No, I need someone that goes, okay, yeah, your finger there. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. So.
Yep. Well, what's the matter, Tony? Feeling a little fuzzy today? Come on, buddy.
So Dwight Bailey's saying, what amps do I use? I plug into whatever's there usually. Now, I know what amps I would like to use, but like I said, I'm so disorganized that whatever's sitting there. Like right now, I got my twin reverb sitting right here.
Hello, Dale.
Hey, Dale. What's up, buddy?
And those speakers work, but they're not plugged in. So the twin reverb's going out into that 412.
Hello, Guitar Man 45.
That's what I was using today when I played for like 3 minutes. That's all I had. But I have that. I have the old Super Lead, and then I have the Metropolis Metroplex. It's like a Friedman VE100 by a different brand. So the guy that made it, George Metropolis, actually worked on an amp with Dave Friedman called the Metro Friedman that was in pre-production, and they couldn't financially work it out between the two of them, so it never happened. But let's just say it's basically like what Dave's amps do, and I love Friedman amps, so this is not a knock to either one of those companies. It just happened to be this one I bought because I got a good deal, but it starts at like a Plexi and it ends up at like a Jose. They copied the Jose, or I can't speak for Dave, but this guy copied the Jose Marshall schematic. So it'll do everything in between there. So that's the amp I use the most for gain. The twin reverb I use for clean stuff mostly. Although that LPD Lawrence Petros pedal into that twin reverb, it sounds so freaking close to my Plexi. I don't have a Plexi, but to my Super Lead, my metal panel Super Lead, I can't tell the difference. It's so freaking close. And then
which LPD is it? The
87.
The 87, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I like the green side better though.
Really?
The green side's like a Plexi if you crank everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just my personal preference. But if it was like Desert Island, but a Desert Island with a power cord,
right.
I'd take the 68, real Plex. It was a 12,000 series, which, if you know what that means, the Eddie Van Halen amp was a 12,000 series 68 Plexi. So I had serial number 12301. If I ever see it again, I'm buying it. That was my serial number of my 68 100-watt Plexi. So if I could ever get that amp back, that's the one amp I would want back. It's a 100-watt 68 Super Lead, all original. And then I have a 78, sorry, dust in the air. I have a 78 Marshall 412 I bought a couple years ago that has original, the late 70s kind of like AC/DC sound and Celestians, or the blackbacks.
Right.
All the bands in the 70s were using them, and I love that 70s kind of sound. So I have that in 412. I would take that either with my 71 Marshall, or if I could get a Plexi, and just like some sort of either tube screamer, or I'm not that picky, some sort of boost in the front of it, and I'd be happy. Maybe.
I'll tell you what, this thing makes everything sound like a 5150. This is like
I never played one of those.
It's one of the best pedals I have ever purchased.
Did they discontinue it? Because I haven't seen a lot of those.
I bought this one used on Amazon for like $45.
Nice.
And it's like brand new. There's not a scratch on it.
Nice.
I watched that. You know what? Ola does that thing, Will It Chug?
Loving.
The only reason I found out about this thing is he had it on one of his Will It Chug things and running it through a clean Fender.
No way.
And it sounded friggin' amazing.
I need to track one down.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Wait, Gary, you said they're expensive and they suck and no one should buy it, right?
Exactly. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
Going on Reader afterwards. That's cool, though. I always look for those. I don't care. I mean, I'll tell you guys now, but if you can ever find, the Blues Breaker pedal, which they then copied into the King of Tone, basically. Yep. If you can find Mars Music, Mars Music from Florida.
Yeah.
They were the whole way up and down the East Coast. But if you can find a Mars Music branded Blues Breaker, they came out at the same time that Marshall made their Blues Breaker in the 90s, the pedal. Wow. And the circuit is identical. The parts are the same. Mars bought them from the same factory, and they put Mars Music on the screen printing. That's it.
Right.
I bought it for like $70, and you don't have to go buy an original one for $300 or $400 or whatever ridiculous price. But see a Mars Music Blues Breaker, same pedal.
See, I've never seen a Mars Music in Florida, but we had them in Rhode Island.
And we had them. Well, I was in Pennsylvania, but we had them in New Jersey. That's where I used to go to one of them.
Yeah.
When I was pretty young, but
as the Blues Breaker.
Yeah, there's not many.
Hold on.
Not many independent stores down in Florida anymore.
So when you lived up in the Northeast, I'm curious because it might have been some of the same places. Because we would get my buddy's station wagon and drive 4 hours if we knew it was a good music store. So we'd hit anywhere in the north. We'd hit anywhere in the Northeast. So what were your go-to like the one-off, even if it's a bigger store, like the mom and pops that were like the go-to places? Where would you guys go?
Luca Music in Rhode Island was really good.
Never been there, but I heard amazing things about it.
They had three stories. They had pianos and organs and stuff on the first floor, all guitar stuff and amps on the second floor, and all drums on the third floor. It was a big store.
My buddy went to Berkeley, and he said they would, on the weekends, they'd take like road trips on a Saturday down to go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they were already in Boston, so.
Yeah, it was a great store. I don't think they're there anymore, but it was a great store. It was like a Guitar Center, basically, before Guitar Center.
So I was talking to Dave Levine about this the other day, and I was curious because he was like, they suck. So about Daddy's Junkie Music, and I said, well, I was never at the store, but I would get those flyers. Did you ever get those flyers?
No, I've heard of them, but I've never.
They were like, it was weird. They were like a newspaper, but it was like a little TV guide size thing, and you'd flip through, and it would say 50-watt JCM 800, $400, or back then it was $400, And I I'd see $400. Yeah, I want to buy that. I got $400 from mowing lawns, but I lived in Pennsylvania. I lived even farther than I do from Philly now, and I'm like, there's no way my mom's letting me borrow her minivan and driving that far.
Yeah.
I
remember the first time me and two of my buddies, like right out of high school, we drove to New York just to go to Manny's.
Oh.
And that was it was like walking into a church. It
was
like
a factory, yeah.
Oh my God, man, the friggin' history in that place.
Oh, I was there once, but I was only there in the late '90s, and apparently it was not by that point anywhere like the way it was before. Like
this was like 80, 81, 82.
They said 89, 90, the golden era ended.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can walk in there and you might see Jimmy Page might be in there, Eric Clapton might be in there.
Well, they said when
You
Sam
never knew.
Ash bought it, it went down the tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we used
cool,
to go to a couple places. Like, if anyone lives around the Maryland, New Jersey, New York area, they might know. But we would go to we'd go to Victor Litz, was one down in Maryland. There's a place called Bill's House of Music in Maryland we'd go to. People in Pennsylvania know there's a place called BCR Guitars, which is really small, but the guy in there is amazing at fixing stuff. BCR Music. It's up near, like, almost up towards Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. But the guy used to even fix guitars for, like, the Allman Brothers. Like, he's like a little small shop, but one dude in the back that, like, does amazing work on guitars, And then, of course, before I got a Guitar Center close to me, it was all like most of them were either Sam Ash, or I had to drive to Jersey or almost into New York to hit a Guitar Center, because at that time, Pennsylvania, unless you were in Philly or in Pittsburgh, there was no Guitar Centers.
Right.
Yeah,
if anybody's ever in Rhode Island and you're a drummer, my buddy Bart, who went to Berkeley, as a matter of fact, and was the touring drummer for the Dixie Chicks for like 5 years, owns Village Drum Shop in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. Just
recently went to the Chicks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid. But anyway, yeah, he's half owner in Village Drum Shop. They do a lot of like drum restorations and like all vintage stuff, and so go see Bart if you're in Rhode Island at the Village Drum Shop.
Yeah, so Mitch knows Bill's House of Music. Yeah, now my favorite place was right across the street from Bill's House of Music. Was a place called East Coast Music Exchange, or at one point it just said Music Exchange on the title. And it was literally like a strip mall. When you have a shop where they call it one unit, like the smallest unit you can buy to put in a little mom and pop shop in a strip mall. It was only that big. But the guy had a wall of 50s and 60s Strats. He had no less than 3 or 4 bursts. He had every old, 60s and 70s Fender and Marshall you can think of. And he had 2 Dumble combos sitting right up front.
Holy crap!
So it was a small shop, and the guy that did all of his repairs was Jeff Boger.
I know Jeff.
Yeah, so every time I went in there, I was like 15 or 16. I bought my first boutique amp from Jeff Boger, and he goes, "I just started this new amplifier company," and he goes, "I got this little 18-watt, when he had the original purple anodized chassis." He goes, I got this little 18-watt amplifier, only had 2 knobs on it, and it was basically his 18-watt Marshall, and I never should have sold it, but I sold it back to the same shop. I had one of the original ones, one of the original Buddhas that he hand-wired himself, and he signed the inside of it. It's probably worth crazy money now, but I traded, the only reason I don't feel bad is I traded it in for a 66 Vibrolux reverb that was in mint condition, and then I sold that Vibrolux reverb to a buddy of mine named... that went to University of Miami with me, but you guys, if you're into like what Guitar Meets Science does, really kind of out there, hardcore rock metal sounds, but out there, kind of like Robert Fripp, Zappa kind of licks. A buddy of mine went to school with me in Miami. His name's, we call him Santi. His name's Santiago, but he lives in Spain now. He's from Spain originally. But his last name is, I can post it in the chat. His last name is Quintans. But Santi's an amazing player. I mean, he'll play anything from like, Def Leppard to like, Frank Zappa to Miles Davis to like, I don't know, Bach. I mean, this guy can play anything. He's amazing, but he does like really outside kind of experimental music now. So I sold him the Vibrolux reverb. So I never felt bad about selling it because, the guy's unlike me being at home, he's a real musician and he's playing it all the time,
I think Jeff is doing. I think his new business is.
He's got a new company.
It's like Pro Audio Services or something like that, or he just works on like Rockstar amplifiers.
How effing smart is that guy though? Like I would go in and say, my Marshall has a problem. It's doing this. And if you've ever watched like those click and clack guys that used to do the car show on public, he's like that. He would say, is it kind of making this noise like? And he'd go, I can tell you exactly what it is. It's this resistor on this part of your input circuit. And then it's also the layover resistor across this tube. And I would check my amp, and sure as shit, it was both of those problems. And I never even had to bring the amp in. So I'd go back in, And I'd come in and he'd be like, just bring me a 6-pack of beer or something next time you come in. And I'm like, I'm 16. And he's like, all right, pick me up a sandwich or something on the way in.
Yeah.
Or I'd go get him like a real good sub on the way in. Oh, here you go, Jeff. He'd be like, I'll be in next Saturday. So we drive back up the next Saturday. I bring him a sub. Oh, Jeff, I got another question for you. And he goes, you fucking kids. You know? And I'd be like, all right. But, you know, we were like 16 and he was so nice to us. He was probably like, you know, my age now, maybe a little younger at the time. And he was like, yeah. He goes, I can see you're legit. Like, he knew we didn't have a lot of money, but we just loved guitar.
Right.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Mr. Bober. You guys can call me Jeff. All right, Jeff. I got a question. All right.
I was friends with his brother Tom.
Oh, I never met yet.
Who's in the automotive business.
Okay.
And
so
I met Jeff.
Talk about automotive stuff in the shop a lot too.
Yeah, I met Jeff through Tom. That was I had bought a Christ, it's like 15, almost 20 years ago. I bought a crate BV120H.
Okay,
the Sammy Hagar tube head.
Yep.
And a
That's
half
a
stack.
Sleeper.
I tell you what, it's in the blue Tolex, that and the 412 cab, the matching cab.
So you meant to say that amp sucks, right? Because no one should go out and buy that now.
No.
Not for at least one day.
Well, the thing was, I wasn't really happy with it when I got it.
Oh, you didn't like it?
And I was talking to Tom one day at the shop, because he used to come see him and his wife used to come see my band all the time. The guy, he goes, oh, you got that new crate working on for you. And I'm like, yeah, it's not quite grindy enough for me. It's like more like an AC/DC tone. And I want to get more like of a Metallica Pantera kind of tone out of it. He's like, why don't you let my brother take a look at it? I'm like, who's your brother? He's like, Jeff. I'm like, Jeff Bober. Buddha Amps, you mean? He's like, yeah, that's my bro.
Crazy. Yeah.
He goes, I'm going to see him on the other coast next weekend. He goes, give me the head. I'll bring it to him. So he brought Jeff my head and modded it for me, retubed it. I got it back a couple weeks later. Dude, this thing is off the chain.
Now, I want to ask you a question and get into something else. I know you have the other one that's the lick lighter mod.
Yeah, that's a 6505 modded by Mike, yeah.
Your amp modded. I thought you only had the 6505 modded. You got Bober to modify your other amp too? Like,
yeah, he modified the crate, the BV128.
You got the hookups, brother.
Yeah.
So tell me more about because we got a minute here. Tell me more about the lick lighter amp.
It's this one, I mean, he builds his own.
It's like an all new amp. That doesn't sound like a regular 6505.
No, well, this was a 6505 that he modded. He put his circuit.
But it's like a whole new amp now because it sounds way better.
Oh yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
But he builds his own amps from all point-to-point wire from scratch. They're incredible.
Gotcha.
Absolutely incredible. He won it. Some amp builder thing. It's kind of like NAMM, but it's just for amp builders.
They used to have the LA Amp Show every year.
Yeah, this was in New York, I think.
They would do a New York one too. It might be.
But 3 years in a row, he got loudest amp.
Hey, I'll take it.
They're just incredible, man.
Yeah. Well, it sounds
I'll
good.
see if I can get Mike on the show one of these days. He'd be a good guest.
Cool.
Yeah. He actually owns an AC company.
Oh wow!
In Florida, Empire Air, named after Queensryche.
Well, if you're in Florida and you own an AC company, I think that's where your money's going to be.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. If you see when you're trying to work in the morning, all you see is AC company trucks and landscaping trailers.
Yeah,
that's all you see.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely where the money is.
Yeah,
you know.
But yeah, I'll see if I can get Mike on the show. That'd be.
So I was going to tell you, I'll tell you who you guys need to have on as a guest, and if you want, I can talk to him because I've known him since I was like 16. So my other friend Joe, you got to go see this guy sometime. I think he's not too far from you. Maybe he's a couple hours, I don't know. But how far, Gary, are you from Newport Richie? Are you far?
Couple hours.
Okay, it's a couple hours. But anyway, you should have him on the show anyway. So my buddy Joe, he plays with. It's like a corporate gig, but it's called the Spasmatics. So I've
heard of them.
They play like they play like they're kind of like the way Nerd Halen is, but they're not copying that. So don't take that the wrong way. I shouldn't use that as reference. Sorry, but they dress like nerds, but they play like 70s, 80s, or mostly I think it's 80s, 90s rock mostly. Some 70s, but I think it's mostly 80s and 90s. But so they do like Zeppelin and.
Thanks, Janice.
And they do like, Van Halen and Hendrix and, anything. Bon Jovi, anything was popular.
I've actually heard of him.
He graduated from Berkeley and he's an insane guitar player. But it's mostly rock and hard rock and that kind of stuff. But like, this guy like just wrote his own song for the quarantine, and it was like finger picking kind of slide blues guitar on an acoustic. Like he plays. This guy went to Berkeley the first time for the summer before starting for 4 years or whatever. He went to Berkeley, and in that short time he was there for the summer, he came back, and I'm like, "What'd you do for the summer?" He goes, "I became a chicken picker," and I thought he was joking. And the guy's just like chicken picking his ass off. But he was the guy that, like, the new Steve Vai album would come out, and I'd be like, "Hey, Joe, did you learn any new licks from that new album?" And he goes, and this is not in any way boasting, he just would quietly say, "Oh, I learned the album this weekend." And I said, "Oh, the basic part." No, he meant every single part on the album, including solos. And this was the time when the album came out with Devin Townsend on. You know, he had the shaved head and then the really long dreadlocks. And I said, "Oh, so did you learn Steve's or Devin's part?" And he just goes, "Both."
I hate him already.
I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "We're going to play a song next week." And I said, "What song?" So they played that song, Deep Down in the Pain.
Wow.
You know how difficult that guitar solo is?
Yeah, yep.
He nails the solo on stage. You know, he was using a little Zoom 9020 and a PV BTM 60 head, and that was it.
That's funny.
Going right in with a guitar he built himself for like $300. Wow. And it's kind of like the album. And that's when
cool.
I knew that there's people that are born that just have something.
Yeah. For sure.
That I can get close if I practice hard enough.
There we go.
But I'm never. He's got the Matt Damon thing where he says, "You don't get it. This math problem's easy for me," and he tears up the paper. He's like, "You don't get it. This is not difficult for me at all." So I just had to realize that he's one of my best friends, and I love him to death. But I will never be at that level.
He's a savant, yeah, for sure.
But you need to have the guy on. He's the nicest guy, and you know he's a full-time musician. You know, he plays in 2 or 3 bands now. But
yeah, put the word out, man.
He's amazing.
That's like Rick Beato.
Yes.
You know, you can sit on a piano keyboard. He'll tell you what keys you sat on.
Have you seen Rick's son?
Oh my God,
Dylan,
that kid is mind blowing, and he's whatever.
Somebody just walked by, or you have a ghost.
No, yeah, that's the guy here that's working.
Wanted to know if you were aware.
Oh no, that's fine, thanks.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, home invasion at Tom's house.
No ghosts in the camera. Yeah.
Never know.
Oh no, you're fine. I didn't know that. He didn't know he was on camera. No, you're fine.
We can see you.
What do you think? You were just sitting there talking to yourself?
You can see on camera. He's a great
hey
guy.
Guys.
I won't say his name.
I don't know how to tell you this. Oh shit.
What do we do? Oh dear Lord.
Oh gee.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Oh no, Quentin.
Tom requested it, and here you are, ladies and gentlemen, Quentin fucking James.
I think he needs.
What up, Q?
I think he needs something.
That is a nice guitar.
That's a beaut.
Now, Quentin, I only have one question.
I love the color. I love everything about it.
Quentin James, what's going on?
Sandra,
motherfucking James.
I think being your channel and your show, Sandra, either you, I bow to you first, or Gary, one of you needs to ask Quentin a question. Because I, for the life of me, cannot remember what guitar that is. So I don't know if you want to ask one.
What's the matter?
I have no idea what kind of guitar you just have.
That's a Schecter.
The Schecter.
Oh, do you know what kind of Schecter it is?
It's the
I'm sure
Schecter.
Quentin's gonna tell us.
It's the Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredded Concrete.
Oh,
there you go.
It's
Thank
the
you.
Schecter Rotting Flesh 666.
You're gonna shoot your
shredder
eye
model.
out.
It's the Schecter Exorcist Damien 666 guitar.
Now I gotta tell you,
Death Machine.
I gotta tell you, Q, that is so nice that
Hello, Paul
You know,
Lou.
I almost wanted
Paul.
to go on Reverb and start looking at those, and then I just said, no, stop it.
I don't know why I haven't owned a Schecter yet.
Oh, you got it. You got that in the mail today.
Did you send me that?
I sent you that.
I can't. What does it say? I can't read it.
Hex Hider.
Oh
Yeah.
Did you ever use
It-
one, Gary?
no,
was
what is it?
It was
Yeah.
addressed. It was addressed to Quentin F. James.
I actually wrote it out, but they took it off. She said I have to change. So she called me back and she goes, "I'm sorry, sir, but we are not allowed to print profanity." And I said, "I put a V in for the U."
You put a V.
I put a V in, and she said, "We cannot print profanity. We're going to have to edit it." I said, "At least leave the F in." And she goes, "Okay, sir."
Yeah.
You know, I haven't even checked to see if it
Does it fit?
it fits.
I'll tell you what, Gary, I bought like a bulk pack of those. So if you DM me privately your address, I can mail you one.
What is it?
Well, show him, Quentin.
And
Show me, Quentin.
It's magnetized, so it just sticks on the back there. It's for
Nice.
it's
Oh,
got
loosen up your nut.
it's got the hex wrench for
For the nut. Cool.
yeah, for unlocking, and it'll fit the bridge too for changing your string.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, Tommy, I'll send you my address, bro.
Yeah, definitely. If you want one too, Sandra, I bought like a bulk pack. I think I bought like 8 of them. There were 4 packs, and it was like so much cheaper to buy 2 or 4. So I just bought 2 4-packs, and I was like, I'll give them out to my friend. That's the gentleman working on my floor. He's working his magic.
What's up, man?
Does he play guitar at all?
Danny, I don't want to say his name on camera. I don't want to mess up his privacy.
Right.
If you play guitar at all. Oh, you can come on if you wanna.
I used to. I think I know how to grab the guitar.
Right on, man.
Sandra,
Yes.
you're still fluent in Spanish, right?
God, not for a long time.
I thought you were. No, I was just gonna tease you. I was gonna say you can work on your Spanish. I was telling Danny when we were doing it. I said that my sister speaks 6 languages, and I need to get my Spanish back again. And when I was with my ex-girlfriend's from Puerto Rico, so my Spanish got good. But I was telling my friend that once she moved away, it went down the hill. But I was telling them earlier because they were playing yesterday. Was it salsa you guys were playing?
Yeah.
The most amazing salsa music.
Vamos
Nice.
a cumbia.
He can't hear you. Hold on. I'm going to change it so he can hear you. Okay, go ahead.
Vamos a cumbia.
Vamos.
¿Verdad?
Yes, vamos.
Sí. Cumbia.
Cumbia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cumbia is really, it's a really move away. Like you can really move your body. With
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I can only swear in Spanish.
A lot of exercise.
I only know the bad words.
Sandra, was it your ex-husband that was a native Spanish speaker, or was it?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. But the music they were playing yesterday was amazing. I'm going to let them go and do stuff, but
Oh, I bet it was.
they were playing the most amazing. You got to write down for me what you guys were listening to. Yeah.
We always listen.
Write it down for me and send it to me. So.
Hi, Robot Master Switch.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
Hey, man. See you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So anyway, back to your tool, Tom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
I've got a. Yeah, I know. I said it, Quentin. I said it.
Well,
I've get on my Kramer.
Sorry.
It's got the little Allen wrench holder thing in the back of the neck, and they keep falling out. You lose the frickin' thumb screws, and so yeah, that thing's badass, man.
Well, I've got these 2, and I had another one that adjusts the tension on the tremolo bar, and I don't know where that one just went, so I gotta find that one.
Sandra, if you have a guitar that's got a locking nut, or if I'm sure Ricky's got one. If he wants to try one out, I can send you one too. If you want to DM me your address afterwards, I'll just drop one out to you guys, or whatever address you want to send to.
yeah, I'll get a hold of you on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Those are
Cool, man.
cool. Those are
Well, I'll
great.
have to do a setup of the guitar. Do what?
Go ahead. I was gonna say breaking news. Fruitcake Tony wants to know: is Quentin wearing pants?
Of course not.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he's got pants on.
It's a miracle.
Wow.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Even I don't have pants on. I have shorts on.
Have you had
Well, I
any
got to
ketchup?
set up the guitar.
Quentin, did you have pants on before I sent the link?
No.
We all know that answer, Sandra.
Okay.
Well, I got to set up. The guitar came with 9 to 46. Now I use 9 to 42. So whenever I change the strings, you got to set up the whole guitar. But I noticed the on this guitar, the pickups are screwed directly into the body, and I was trying to lower the middle pickup, but the screw just won't go in anymore. So I think I'm gonna have to break out the Dremel.
Dale.
So I was going to show you guys this today. This is like my level of nerddom, which I'm going to guess, I would bet good money that no one else either in the stream or in the chat has one of these.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the box.
If it's what I think it is, I got one. That's not what I was thinking.
Let me just tell you, it is, the boxes like you have medals and that kind of stuff. And I'm going to tell you, I was never in the military because I was denied because of my heart. My father was, but this is not. This is from another organization, but see if you can guess and see if you can guess how much of a nerd I was as a kid.
Uh-oh.
What do you think it is?
A pen and pencil set holder.
Nope. Less than 1% of
It's a calculator.
males in the United States have this.
A vagina?
Oh,
I have that too, but I won't be showing that on camera today. Sorry, Sandra. No, it's not. Here, I'll show you. I'll give you a hint.
okay.
A brain.
I bet you I got something you guys don't have. Go ahead, Tom.
What,
I'll
the
give
clap?
you a hint. Can you see that? It's an insignia. It's the shape of an eagle. That's the only hint I can give you. That's pretty much giving it away.
I don't know. Girl Scout medal.
I'll give you the last hint. Since I am, George got it.
Wow, you're an Eagle Scout?
I am.
That's impressive, dude. That is impressive.
And I was this close to mailing it back to them. And if you mail it back to them, they take that as a big kick in the balls. And I sent a letter to them telling them formally I was going to mail it back to them, and they requested I didn't. And they're claiming now they're going to make donations to a couple of companies that help with sexual abuse, because I work with kids, a lot of them that have been abused. And after finding out, what I think a lot of people knew for a lot of years, what happened with a lot of Boy Scouts, I was like, I'm proud of what happened when I was there, but there's too much horse shit going on.
I was in the Boy Scouts too, man. I love
can't
the Boy
support
Scouts.
them ethically anymore.
I touched my troop master's pee-pee badge. I didn't get that one.
I mean, that never
I
happened
was
to
not in Boy Scouts.
That never happened to me, but I also went to Catholic school, and I know some people that happened to a Catholic school.
I was
So,
in Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts for about a week, and I hated it. It was a total sausage fest, and
let me be clear that everyone I spent time with, I never had a pervert or sicko. I had a great experience.
Yeah, me too. I did too.
Not in 2020 support an organization that basically wants to act like the Catholic Church and cover it up like that.
I thought that little box was going to contain the ears of the kid from second grade that took your lunch money.
Those were buried in the backyard of my childhood home. No.
Okay, y'all ready for this? I bet y'all don't have any of this.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Ooh, nice.
No.
I used to have one of those here, but it wasn't for me.
Now, let me explain this.
I know
Please.
exactly what that's for.
Okay, I go to pain management in my back, and I'm on the Roxy's, blah, blah, blah. Well, in their infinite wisdom, I guess the government and the insurance companies, just one day, my pharmacist called and said, your prescription's ready. And I'm like, I didn't order. I said, what's it for? He said, Narcan. I'm like, squeeze me? What?
You know what?
Apparently my insurance company wants me to have this just in case I OD or somebody around me ODs, because I have these pills. And it's like, I'm going to, they're like, you don't have to get it. And I'm like, well, I don't want my insurance to say anything about, anything. So it's like, fuck, give it to me. I'll throw one in my glove box. Maybe it'll come in handy one day. I don't know. But yeah, I have Narcan.
Wow.
So apparently they know about your heroin addiction.
Well,
Yeah.
no, let me tell you, last year,
Cat's out of the bag.
I don't know how many of you know, but like this hand, the scar right there. So about a year and a half ago, my entire hand literally was torn open and looked like spaghetti coming out of it.
Nice.
They reconstructed my entire right hand, like $15,000 surgery that insurance did not cover. But anyway, long story short, this hand is like screwed now. But after I had the surgery, they gave me OxyContin, but they also gave me a prescription for one of those and I said, why do I need this? And I went to my doctor and he goes, 3 letters, TYA. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, cover your ass.
Yeah.
Insurance companies prescribe me the Narcan because if you overdose and die, it's your decision if you didn't take Narcan or you didn't fill the prescription. Well, if like me or like Quentin, you live alone. My kids live here, but when they're at their mother's house, I'm alone. So if I
it's not going to do any good if you're by yourself. You can't give it to yourself if you OD.
Exactly,
That's stupid.
Exactly. And I asked my doctor, I said, that doesn't make sense. And he goes, legally, they cover their butt. That's all they care
That's all it is. That's all it is.
All they care about.
Yep.
So you know what I did with that OxyContin prescription? Right in the toilet. Actually, I probably shouldn't have put it right in the toilet, but I did.
Quentin, you know what you need to do, brother? Make a little necklace out of that and wear it around your neck.
Yeah.
What, the Narcan?
Yeah.
So if someone ever finds you, it's right there.
Like those medical alert buttons. I'm falling in, I can't get up.
No, what I ought to do is go find the junkies in town and sell it to them.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know about
hashtag, oh dear Lord.
I don't know where you guys live, but I know in Philly, I know most like beat cops now carry Narcan.
Yeah, I think they all do now.
Oh yeah.
Biggest thing they run into is ODs every single day.
But I think they call it pepper spray though. That'll wake your ass up.
My kid's a paramedic, and he says when people OD and they give them Narcan, he says they almost instantly snap out of it, and they're fucking pissed because you blew their buzz.
Yep.
And they wake up. I've seen someone be administered it in front of me and come back from death. And when I lived in Pittsburgh years ago, and they just jammed this guy with it, and he goes,
yeah.
And he goes, "You mother effer!" And he's yelling at the guy. He goes, "That was the best fucking high I ever had in my life." And the guy goes, "I just saved your life." And he goes, "I got a headache. I feel hungover. I'm shaking." He goes, "I don't care. You should have let me die." He was not happy.
Yeah.
Now, what if you take it? What do you if you take it if you're not ODing? What happens then?
I don't know. Hold on. Hold my beer. Hold my beer.
Well, I mean, like EpiPens, you're not supposed to use unless they're bad for your heart. It raises your heart rate up to. I've used 4 EpiPens in the last 3 years because of my allergic reactions, and the last time I had to use 2 of them. And when they measured my heart rate, my resting heart rate is usually about 55, and my resting heart rate was 187.
Damn.
Wow.
It's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check mine right now.
Rick's saying he got his mom off Oxy and on a weed. My mom doesn't use Oxy, but I got her to alter the type of medication she uses as well, and I think it's much for the better. And I did the same thing myself.
Yeah, I can't do that here in Kentucky. They pee test me every like 2 months. So
that sucks.
Yeah.
Well, they pee test you to make sure you're taking them and you're not selling them.
Exactly. Well, no, there's times I've had like 5 prescriptions expire because when the epidurals work really well, I don't take the shit. I don't want to have to take
it. Gary, you got to play for a Sun Valley Super Shredder 3 somehow. Come on, dude.
True.
It does. It slows down.
Sell my body.
It slows down my legato. It makes me play like Pink Floyd. You know, get all.
Yeah, you can tell when it's not a legato night and when Q gets all bluesy. It's like Daddy's high.
Daddy's high is. Well, you know what I'm going to say.
Daddy's comfy.
Right.
Daddy's in his happy place. Let's just put it that way.
Comfortably numb.
Yeah.
But yeah, when the prescriptions expire, you know, I take them back to the doctor because I don't want them. You know, to say, did you lose it or give it to somebody? It's like, here, dude, you take it. And,
I still get stuff from my hand, and if I don't fill it, then the insurance company says, well, you must not need us, and they're trying to cover. So I have to take it, otherwise they don't want to keep my insurance at the level it's at.
Right.
So I take them, I keep them for like a week, and then I go to my doctor and I drop them off, and they put up one of those hazmat things.
I mean, that's
time, but I have to go through the stupid process because if I ever need them, I need that to be there.
Yeah, that's like over 5 years. That's 540 pills.
Oh yeah,
which I could have sold, but the whole prison thing.
$10 a pill. Yeah,
pretty big deterrent, man. I wouldn't be a good prison bitch.
That's the only reason why.
You're too pretty to go to prison, Quentin.
Quentin, I'll tell you the only reason why I don't have a forest of green trees that smells so heavily delicious in my basement right now is because of the lawman, the G man, as they used to say.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
I mean, sooner or later, I think the federal government is just going to say, we're gonna do like Canada. It's legal, and we're gonna tax the shit out of it. You know.
Well, and in Canada, I could grow 2 plants to myself because 2 plants is enough that's not enough for me to make money selling it
Right.
all year long off of 2 plants. It's a waste of time, but it's plenty enough just for my own use. And that's all I want because I don't even want to get into how much I spend a month. It's insanity how much I spend a month because insurance won't cover it.
Well, Tony, it's a huge problem everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
But for people like me, you know, the government just wants to outlaw the oxys or roxys just across the board.
Yeah, that's messed up because people like you need that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and the people that are abusing it, and these doctors like in Florida, South Florida, not where Gary's living, but even further south. Gary knows the doctors that write 100 scripts a day each for 90 pills.
You know,
they go, oh, your back hurts? Yeah, okay, cool. We'll give you 100 OxyContin because your back hurts a little.
Yeah, they don't. By the way,
they're cracking down on it down here now, though.
Insurance, we don't take insurance, and it's a cash, appointment only. And why would you spend that much money to go to school for that long and think you're going to get away with shit like that when the feds come in and you go to prison for 20? You just lost your entire life because you think you're smarter than the feds.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have no sympathy for stupid fucks like that.
Well, the thing is, it's just greed because
exactly
they already had a good career.
Yeah.
It's not like they were homeless and needed, if it was a doctor that was homeless and needed to get his next meal, then I'd give him a break. But it's just pure greed. It's all about this.
Yeah. No, trust me, I could sell this shit so fucking quick, but I'm not a criminal.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is unfortunately, I have morals. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I talked to a buddy of mine earlier today who's not doing
thumbs
too
up,
well,
guys.
and does not have long to live. And he said it's making him realize what stuff's really important. And he said to me, well, the problem, Tom, is you're not a criminal and you have morals. And I was like, damn it. And he goes, yeah, if you had no morals and didn't give a shit, he's like, you could make a lot more money than you're making now.
Yeah.
Brad Miller, thank you. Hello.
But, what's up, Brad?
I'm immoral, but I have morals. Does that make sense?
Well, I do have good insurance. I've got Medicare and a separate supplemental plan through Anthem. So, those epidurals, they don't cost me a dime.
Wow.
That's good.
Not a fucking dime.
Yeah, this is how much my insurance covered of my hand surgery.
Why?
Because the dog got loose from the owner and ran at me and grabbed my hand. But somehow I was supposed to see the dog coming and run away and protect myself, and it was my fault.
No, what happens is the insurance should pay for it, and then the insurance company sues the dog owner.
Well, what happened is
you should have got a fucking lawyer.
Well, that's what happened. So the health insurance company said, "Go after yourself," and I said, "Thanks."
Yeah,
and I got the biggest dog. I got the biggest dog attorney in the state of Pennsylvania that does Philadelphia, and the only thing he does are dog bites, illegal assaults from the police, and car accidents. Like if I'm driving down the road and a municipal city vehicle hits my car and just kills me instantly, and then he takes the case for that family.
That's because he sues the city.
He sued everyone he could. Unfortunately, Pennsylvania has what's called a one-bite law, meaning if your dog bites the shit out of someone, as long as they don't kill them, if they live, they get one free bite. They don't put the dog down, and the owner's not liable.
Are you fucking... Wait, where were you and where was the dog? Was the dog out?
I was on the street. The dog was going the other direction.
Was it loose?
Across the street. She had it on a leash, and the dog ripped the leash out of her hand and charged me. But the guy who owns the dog had his teenage daughter, who probably weighed about 90 pounds, petite little girl, was about 15 or 16 years old. She might have been 18, but she looked like she was about 15. She was very small and petite. And he had her out walking this dog, which the dog outweighed her. It was a German Shepherd mixed with Malamute.
So you sued and lost?
Yes, no, so it was a Shepherd, a Bernese Mountain Dog, and a Malamute mix. It was enormous, but I won. But because of the state of Pennsylvania, if I would have gone to trial, the last trial, from statistics like mine that went to trial, the judge got pissed off and said that, you know, if you get bit by a dog, it's not that big of a deal, and he awarded the guy $1. So my attorney said to me, if you go to court, you might get $1. So I don't want to say what it was, but he said you can take this amount. He wanted to sue for like $2-3 million, but he said we're never going to get that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He goes, you're never going to get that. He goes, we're not even going to get close to $500,000. So he said, take the money they offered you and be happy with it and move on with your life. And I said, this hand's not the same. It's permanently damaged. I can't fully open it. I can't fully close it. And every time I hold a guitar pick, I grip something. Every time I stretch my hand, it's constant pain every day. But I sat down with my attorney. He goes, you're never going to get it back. He said, you're going to have to just grow up, take what you can take, and move on. He goes, you got screwed, but there's nothing you can do.
That sucks.
But he said 10 years ago, the state of Pennsylvania changed their laws because people had cases like mine 10, 15 years ago, and were getting $5 million settlements, and taxpayers got fed up with it.
I can't believe you have a lawyer that's a dog.
Yeah.
Where does he buy his suits?
I don't know.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Is there a punchline for that?
I'm reaching. I'm reaching.
I mean, he was good, but at the very end, I got pissed with him, and he told me there's nothing I can do.
You're lucky he didn't bite you.
Yeah.
Right on.
But it is what it is. The money, basically, I paid for the time off work, the damage done to me, and everything else, and I'm left with zero and a damaged hand. So what are you going to do, right? You know, it's life. You move on, right?
Yep.
Well, those, I don't know if y'all remember the story. The second time I hurt my back, that kind of pushed me over the edge. That it was these guys riding around shooting up the neighborhood, and they came down the street and they were shooting at me and my neighbors. And anyway, I sued them. Well, I asked for money when it went to court, and they gave me $1,500 for between the two of them. Now, restitution. I'm sorry. So the first checks I get, one guy, I get a check for $13.33. The other guy was $33.33. I guess it's going to take him 5 years to pay it off or whatever, you know. And then I got that for like 2 months, a $13.33 check, right? Yeah. So, and then after that, I didn't get anything. And then about 6 months later, I get the entire amount in one check. I don't know what happened. I wound up calling probation saying, I'm not getting my money. And they're like, we will look into it. And they looked into it pretty fucking quick. But one of the guys, we were going to go to trial and everything. And the prosecutor was like, you know, if we go to trial, here's what's going to happen. They want to go to what's called, and there's a room that has a sign that says Rocket Docket. Rocket Docket.
Wow, that's what.
Yeah, basically, it's the whole plea deal thing. It's like, you know, they're on probation for 10 years for like 8 counts of wanton endangerment, and it's like these dudes aren't going to make it 10 years without fucking up. One of them didn't make it a year. He wound up trying to rob a convenience store and got caught, so he's in prison for 20 years. I don't know what happened to the other guy, but
I guess if they didn't get close to hitting any human beings, you can't get them for like assault or attempted anything.
Well,
right?
it was all wanton endangerment because one bullet did go into a house and through this missed an infant by 3 or 4 feet.
See. In Pennsylvania, I don't know if it would stick, but my brother-in-law is an attorney for the state, and I know he used to be an assistant DA out in Beaver County, out towards Pittsburgh. And in Pennsylvania, I don't know if it'll stick legally, but they'll shoot it up the wall and try. If it gets within, I think, like 3 feet or 5 feet of a child, they'll go for attempted murder. They'll try and get an attempted homicide charge. But did anyone see him? Because they should have at least got a brandishing charge if they saw him, but who knows if it was at night or what? Oh,
it was at night, but they got the gun. They got shell casings all over the neighborhood, shell casings in the car. They admitted to it. I mean, it was just a joke. They were just out drunk. Dude,
Yeah.
they were shooting at houses, apartments, just fucking. It's like, really? Which one of you thought that was a cool idea?
And that's how innocent people die.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
If
And
you're
the
going to
thing
have
is, what-
target practice, at least pick a smaller target.
The thing is, there's
Go out in the woods somewhere. Go where there's a dumpster at least. I mean, come on.
they're out popping caps from this 9mm, and inside my house, I have a fucking AK-47 and AR-15.
Gwen's just waiting.
I got a pump shotgun, and I didn't even go inside and get my shit. It's like you just don't do that. But
I have a BB gun.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I used to own. Is it either Daisy or Crossman? I think I used to
No,
own
it's a.
I had a Crossman pump.
I had the one that's a spring. You pull back. It's like it looks like
flag that says bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're racking a slide for real.
It's a Marksman, which I think is actually Crossman.
Oh, okay, yeah, I used to have the same one. I think
This thing won't even put a hole in a beer can at 3 feet. That's how
we
weak.
used to use that exact same one inside when we were hanging out at parties to shoot like 20 feet across the room.
Yeah.
God bless. We were in our 20s. Whoever owned this place, we were renting because we put so many little things in the wall we had to patch up. You know, when we missed the cans.
Dog
I
Pond
have,
got screwed too.
How what?
Oh, does he want to see that? I can grab it, but that's up to Sandra and Gary because it will take me like 30 seconds off camera to go get it. I can do it if you want.
Yeah, we'll
What's
go a
that?
few more minutes.
You get what?
He said he wants to see the purple Wolfgang. You want me to grab it now or what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll be right back. It only takes like 30 seconds.
Here, you can see all my guitars, right?
We'll
there.
go a few more
Sweet.
minutes.
Although the Michael Kelly, that blonde-looking telly, I'm gonna give. A friend of mine gave that to me. You know, when I didn't have a guitar, and I just talked to him a couple of days ago. I'm giving that back to him because, like, dude, I don't play it. I'm not gonna sell it, so just let me give it back to you. I mean, fuck, the dude gave me the guitar. It's like, least I could do is give it back to you. I mean, if I'm not playing it, I'm gonna sell it or something. So.
Right. I love your Explorer, man. I love that guitar.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, by the way, I think probably 99% I'm selling my Helix, man,
Really?
Sure.
How come?
to a friend of mine. You know, a little bit, I'll take the money. And, you know, I don't even have the foot controller hooked up. I've never hooked it up. And I just don't, it's like having a Ferrari. I'd rather this guy have it. And I mean, he plays in a band and
Right.
it's
Is
like,
it the regular, like the full Helix? Or like the Helix floor or stomp or?
no, it's the Helix rack.
Oh,
It's-
nice.
It's the big boy with the controller. Oh, I love purple.
That's cool, man.
Nice.
The only thing I don't like about that, go ahead and guess. I don't
Tom's
like
head behind it.
I don't like the plastic volume knob. I'd rather have like a chrome metal volume knob.
Yeah.
The flame is really nice on this one. It's hard
And
to-
I don't like
It
that
is
those.
really pretty.
That's not floating either. I got to have mine floating.
Well,
Yeah, me too.
these they made all of them against the bridge, but
Yeah, that's the way Eddie. That's the way Eddie did it.
Yeah. Is it got a detuner on it, Tom?
No.
it doesn't. I should put one on because I do just.
Because
I'm
that's
not
the only reason. That's the only reason they bury the bridge on the deck is if there's a detuner.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Because you
put
can't
one.
use it if it floats. I tried
Right.
it. It doesn't
So
work.
this is a 1996. So the EVH models went to the end of 95. So they sent all the EVH model bodies that had the hole up here to Japan, and they made the EX models. And if you get one of those EX models, this is the same, but instead of Axis right there, it's Axis EX right here because they couldn't use the Eddie Van Halen signature.
Is that a roasted maple neck, Tommy?
No, that's just the wear on it.
Just okay.
Oh, okay.
So they're unfinished necks, but this is what 24 years old. So
Yeah.
Wow.
it's just the aging of the neck. Have you ever seen Johnny Beans? How his looks almost brown up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I got to play one of Ed's guitars, one of Ed's actual guitars.
oh, you did? That's cool. I mean, for being 24 years old, it barely has a ding in the back. Look, it's like
Yeah.
Wow.
all the gloss is still there, but it's got a nice You can't really see it. Nice bird's eye in the neck.
And Tony, to answer your question from like a half hour ago, I haven't seen Whitey yet tonight. I'm sure he's lurking somewhere.
But Q, to answer your other question, like, it came with a black knob. Now they originally had these. They were all original plastic knobs. I don't know why they didn't do that, but this one's really weird. So this actually, see if I can get it.
Oops.
If I go like that, that's the neck pickup forward. In the middle is both, and it's not up and down. Back is the bridge, which I actually
that's weird.
Because I know if I go like this, if I come up and I'm sitting here like this, and I go, I know I'm in the neck, and then all I have to do is go like that, flick it straight back, and I know I'm on the bridge. I actually prefer that. It's just like this. I don't have, because otherwise, if they did it up, and the reason they did that is when it was out here, you had room to move it. There's no room in between here.
Yeah, right.
So they put it in like that, and I called Music Man because I'm a freaking nerd, and I said, just put it on an angle, and he goes, no, we did it that way on the axis, and I was like, all right, cool. So,
I mean, you could always move it anyway if you had to.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I show you all this? My Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder 3?
Now mine doesn't look that pretty. That looks really pretty.
That's awesome.
Here's the back. Did y'all see the back? Look at the back.
Yeah, my back doesn't look that nice either.
It's got stickers on it.
See, his looks nice. Look,
you didn't even take the protective plastic off.
No, not yet. And look at this. Look at the plate for the tremolo. It's recessed. It's not sitting on top. Ah, you cheap bastards.
Nice.
I mean, that's like a friend of mine had Brian Stewart got his Sir guitar, and they didn't even recess the plate.
And you got a handy compartment for the battery too. You don't have to take the cover off. That's nice.
Yes, I went to Kroger. I went to Kroger today and got a new Duracell battery just in case.
Nice.
Right.
The Eddie Van Halen story. I was down at Meridian, Mississippi at Peavy School. That's where Peavy was located back in the day, and Ed had sent one of his guitars in for some repair. I don't know what it was, but it was nasty, gungy, fingerprinty, Eddie DNA all over it, and none of his DNA rubbed off on me. But that's my Eddie Van Halen story.
Nice.
I've heard that like someone was telling me before. I don't know how much of Eddie nerds you guys are, and if anyone from Johnny's channel or any of those guys are on right now, they know way more than I do about it. But someone was saying before, Matt Bruck, they call him Matty, was like Eddie's full-time guy forever, that apparently one of his road guys before either got fired or was close to getting fired because he went to one of Eddie's necks and cleaned it off. And apparently you do not effing touch Eddie's neck. He likes all that gunk in there. And apparently this is back in sometime in the 80s, and apparently he just went ape shit on the guy. And I guess that never happened because the guy tried to do like clean it up nice with lemon oil and stuff.
There's some there's I think 3 videos on my channel. I think it's NAM or EVH at NAM or something. That's back when he was with Peavy, and we were a big Peavy dealer.
Yeah.
At the
go subscribe to Quentin's channel.
The show in Anaheim.
I do not have a link.
My rep comes up to me and says, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm just hanging out." He goes, "You want to meet Eddie Van Halen?"
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I never want to meet Eddie Van Halen. Please.
If you watch the videos, they are fucking painful to watch. Eddie is so well. First of all, he came in drunker than snot. So Hartley Peavy was pissed, and like it took 2 or 3 hours for him to really halfway sober up enough to come down to the where he was and play.
He was drunker than that.
Oh my God!
There's a video on YouTube right now where he can barely stand up. He's going like this. He's standing going like this with the guitar.
It was so. I was like,
his link's in the chat.
Second in the front row.
I was just gonna do that.
And there's you could tell he's so nervous, man, and so out of place. And you finally hear some guy in the crowd, which was me, go, "Well, I just blurted it out because I felt so bad for him. I just said, 'We love you, Ed,' and he goes, 'I love you too, man.'"
You?
That was me. I know, right? Yeah.
I've seen that video like 50 times. Like I used to when I was younger, just watch that video over and over. I'm like, wow, this is what he's become. Like,
and one of the guys on stage is James Brown, who
the guy made the amps.
who did the amp. He's now with, he did own Amp Tweaker, but I think he sold it because some health issues or something.
Yeah, he's freaking a genius. That guy. He's the guy that
Yeah.
made. He designed.
Dude,
amp.
he was James Brown. I mean, you see his like interviews on YouTube. He is just like that. He is the nicest
really?
guy.
Thank you, Robot.
Oh man, he's just great guy.
Yeah, he seems like a sweet guy.
Thanks, Robot.
Beep boop,
Yeah.
beep boop, boop, beep
The reason
boop.
I had two cases here
Right,
is
well,
they look almost identical, and I grabbed the wrong one.
That's robot language, in case you didn't know.
Big G does have a channel, and his link is in the description.
I do. Beep boop, beep.
And I'll go ahead and apologize for some of the videos on my channel
Lance.
that you're going to see. Okay. I'm not even going to say what they are because they're all over the place, and so I'll go ahead and apologize now.
They're not as bad as some of mine, dude. So don't feel bad.
Q, my number one favorite video of yours is social distancing. Get the F away from me. Get the F away from me. Oh, hey, get the F away from me. Have a nice day. Get the F away from me.
Yeah.
That was the best.
How's Emmett doing?
Oh, he's over there yelling about something.
I haven't seen an Emmett video in a while.
Yeah, how's the flying coming?
He's still not. And I still miss that little fucker, Sylvester. He's nothing like Sylvester. I mean, they all have their own personalities,
Right.
but he's not the friendliest little guy yet. Yeah, you just gotta give him time. But it's a good 6 or 7, 8 months before they clip their flight wings or whatever. They clip a certain number of wings.
Yep.
And it takes time for those to grow back. But he's a hopping little fucker though. He can hop with the best of them.
Emmett's cool, man.
But I think what his issue is, I think when he stands at the edge of the door and he jumps, I think he just holds his wings out like that, and he doesn't quite understand. You gotta flap them motherfuckers, man. You gotta flap them fucking thing. You can't just stick them out like that and expect to get any lift. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it didn't work for me either when I jumped off the garage roof when I was a kid.
Well, but think about it. Maybe he's terrified. Like, I wonder what I'm not really good with scale. Like, but scale-wise, that's going to be like him jumping off a 50-foot building. Like, so he's probably just like, yeah!
Well, I've got new carpet and new padding, and I think what happens is, see that snake right there under my TV? I think he might be worried about that. That came from Dave Reese when he sent me the Garcaster, and I opened it up. There's this big snake, and
I remember that.
right,
I think there was spiders in there too, wasn't there? Or scorpion?
Little fucking scorpion.
Scorpion, that's what it was. Yeah.
Fucking, I had to take a pair of pliers and pick them. I couldn't touch them.
I mean, could you just put like a little halfway up, like a cardboard box or something, so he can like try and make it halfway and then go from halfway the whole way up?
Oh,
Awesome robot. Thank you, bro.
Set the cage on the ground, and it still doesn't matter whether he comes out. But when he does come out and he goes back in, you see the guitar cable wrapped up in the guitar stand up to the back of the cage. He just climbs right up that and then climbs up and gets in his cage stuff.
I love watching him do that. I sat there one day, just watched him for like 5 times over and over. I kept rewinding and just climbing up the thing.
I need to get it like an Emmett cam or something.
Hey,
Hey,
Terry,
Terry.
what's up, buddy?
Emmett needs his own permanent camera. Whenever you're live, Emmett should be live. That's what I think.
Laz, Brian, what's up?
Camera 2, we'll go check Emmett out. I think that's what you need, like a permanent fixed camera on him.
An Emmett cam.
Yeah, definitely. I have a friend, my son's jiu-jitsu instructor has a pet raccoon, legitimate pet raccoon, and he has his own, I think it's Instagram channel. His name's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's Rocket the Raccoon.
I don't know how I wound up getting in the suggestion, but there's some old man somewhere that feeds fucking raccoons. He feeds them hot dogs and like dog food, and he's got a huge channel.
My friend Eric, who passed away a few years ago, had a pet raccoon. Man, that thing weighed like 30 pounds.
Oh, they're huge.
It was huge.
So Gary, tell me from your experience through your friend, what this guy always tells me, my son's instructors, he says, they're the best friends ever in an animal form. They're the worst pet you can ever imagine because you think that, ferrets or some other animal will tear your stuff up.
Yeah.
Raccoons were born to tear into stuff. All they need is a hole
Oh,
that big, and they will get in and tear it up.
Yeah, and they're shifty as fuck too, man.
The raccoon has his own bedroom, and they have a padlock on it. And literally, it's set up like a prison because otherwise, when they go to bed, that raccoon will get out at night.
Dude, they're crafty. They can do a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah. So they have a 8-foot tall by I don't know what, like a huge
Sneaky
thing, but they're very sneaky.
I tell you what's really cute but not a good pet: sugar gliders. I used to have sugar gliders.
I almost bought one of those.
That's a weird pet to have.
Don't.
I have a snake instead. Snakes are so easy to take care of.
Snake?
Yeah.
I'd make a fucking belt out of your snake.
Oh,
Fucking snakes. What's wrong with you?
no good.
Uh-oh, wait, there's trouble.
Oh boy.
Six String Brian, what's up? By the way, if anybody doesn't
Brian.
know, Six String Brian, he likes Les Pauls.
Yep.
I kind of gathered that.
Hey, Six String Brian. Brian, did you see my Sector Sun Valley Super Shredder 3?
The only reason he's on here is to show his guitar.
Robot Master Switch said he's a 6-foot Brazilian rainbow boa. That's a beautiful animal. I have, it's female, but I just have, for size constraints, I have a ball python, female ball python. But she's only, I think, 4.5 feet.
My very first job, I was 15. Well, my first retail, I don't know, retail job maybe. I got hired at our local pet store. My first day I go in there and they say takes me back, says first thing you have to do in the morning is come over here to the white mice and you feed those to the snakes. And I said, dude, I can't do it. Well, that's your job. I turned around and walked out the door and fucking went home.
Were they live feeders?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I used to do live feeders, but
No, dude, I can't. No.
well,
I'd be like all the mice see me coming and go, there's the death guy. No.
I got used to doing it, but it's not fun keeping like 6 mice in a box in your kitchen for 2 weeks because your snake doesn't want to eat.
Oh my God.
Okay, no, Tom. When you fed your snake, I used to date this girl who had a python.
Okay.
And she'd go to the store, buy a couple of mice, and she kept one in like a little cage and kept the other one in the bag, and would spin the bag around and get it dizzy before she put it in the thing with the snake so the mouse wouldn't bite the snake.
Oh my God, you got.
I can tell you exactly what I did, but I don't know if it's going to gross people out.
Don't tell me you chucked it in the microwave for 10 seconds to cook it up.
No,
Nobody likes a cold meal.
I did the most humane thing you can do.
Oh, don't tell me you drowned it.
He got him high. He got him high first.
No, you have to separate their spine.
Oh my God, stop it.
That's
my veterinarian told me this.
Okay, we're going to end on that note.
I'm sorry. Let's end on a good note. Let's end on one good question. Someone have a question for Q or for anybody?
Yeah, here's my new Sector Sun Valley Super Shredder.
How many tones does that Sun Valley Schecter Sun Valley Super Shredder 3 get?
It's got a
Smash that
5-way.
thumbs up.
It's got a 5-way.
So 5 different tones?
Yeah, and I did a video, just a little kind of a demo video. It's probably got, on the clean channel, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because you talk about snakes, and now I'm watching this survival show with their, I don't know what that, probably 3, maybe 4, 3 of the sounds on a clean channel, and then the bridge pickup. I mean, the EMGs do not sound like an 81 or 85 or the SAs. They're pretty usable. I'm happy with them. I'm not going to change them.
I was surprised how good that clean sounds on it. Even on the bridge, it still stays fairly clean. You know?
Yeah, and it's got that no load. So you turn down the volume. You don't suck all the highs out of it. And
well, if it's a no load pot, then too, when you have it up to 10, it should take the tone out of the circuit.
Right.
I got 8185s. I got 8185s in my Kramer, man, and it cleans up nice.
And the thing about it, those EMGs are, you can put them on a 2x4 and they're going to sound exactly like whether you have them in a Les Paul or a Strat or any.
Yeah.
And not saying anything bad because I had one with them and they're a real particular sound and they're quiet as fuck.
Yep.
But they're just
And they're definitely better than the stock Kramer
They're a little
pickups.
sterile, I guess.
Yeah.
The stock Kramer pickups were like mud.
Well, and I know when I was in high school, I mean, like, and I think the difference is, like, today you have like 500 million pickup makers, and it was like, if you had a store near you that you could go to or mail order or whatever, and you knew enough about it somehow, and you got lucky enough, you might be getting DiMarzio or Seymour Duncan, or maybe if you lived in an area like close to where they had like a Bill Lawrence or something else, maybe you'd hear about that. But I never heard about all these small guys like Bill Lawrence and these guys till the internet.
You know, even back in the early '90s, they were still pretty much Duncan and DiMarzio. I still got pickup anxiety back then. Nowadays, it's like, dude, stop it. I don't know.
Well, someone told me they were putting EMGs in, and I said, "Are those Duncans or DiMarzios?" He goes, "No, they're EMGs." I said, "What's that? Is that a new type of pickup?" And he goes, "No, another company." I'm like, "What do you mean another company?" Duncan and DiMarzio are the two companies. That's it. It's like Coke and Pepsi.
Well, like Quentin was saying, the 8185s, you could nail them to a friggin' 2x4, and they're going to sound the same. But if you want to buy other pickups, they're going to sound different in any guitar you put them in.
I worked at a store. There's
no way to know what they're going to sound like in your guitar until you actually put them in.
On my Les Paul Custom, I took the bridge pickup out. This is the 81 Custom. And I tried a Duncan Custom, the Custom, the Distortion. And they all changed the guitar so much that I just put the stock pickups back in.
Yeah, I used to have an SG way back when that had a super distortion.
I had a
DiMarzio at the bridge.
I had a white
SG. You could not clean that thing up.
Super distortion in the bridge and a Super 2 in the neck. Remember those? They were black and had them Allen screws.
Yep. Yeah, that thing would not clean up. You couldn't clean that.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, there he is. Whitey's out. Hey, buddy.
Whitey.
Is that your salamander or cockroach or whatever that thing is?
My
gecko.
So cool. I miss seeing those. I remember when I lived down in Florida, I used to see
he's in the glare of the light. You can't really see him.
Oh, I can see his legs a little bit.
Yeah, he's there.
For a second, I saw part of him.
So is that just some wild critter that lives in your garage?
Dude, he has been in my garage for at least 3 years. At least 3 years.
Yes, we do, Laz.
Oh, Whitey's paying rent now. Whitey's been there a while.
Yeah, and now he's got a girlfriend, too, and they got a little one running around.
Oh, Whitey Jr. coming up soon.
Thank you, Jack.
That's what I call him, Junior.
21 watching.
Oh, Tom, thank you, man. If I didn't tell you, thank you. That was quite the surprise because I'm waiting. I see this envelope, in my mailbox, and it's like, what is it? The only thing I'm waiting on that would be that size or some switch tips for my 5-way switch from Sweetwater.
Quentin was like, "Damn him! It was supposed to be my 5-way tips."
I just keep breaking out the Sharpie and coloring it black. And the thing is, I had to get a 2-pack. It's like, I don't want two. I just want one. I'll put it on Craigslist or something.
Wow.
We're gonna go for real this time.
Oh, we're leaving?
Okay.
That's fun here. But before we go, does everybody want to see my Check Your Sun Valley Super Shredder 3?
Well, Quentin, if you want to show that off more, you can always go live later and show it off again.
Woo! Well, I saw Steve from Boston was on, and then somebody else is coming on it. I think Hawk's coming on or something, or somebody else will be on later. So
I'm probably, hopefully, I'm not dipping into anybody else's show right now.
Sandra, if you get any crap from anyone, I will take blame because I'm extremely verbose. So that's my fault.
Thanks for tuning in, chat. Thank our guests, Mr. Quentin fucking James and Mr. Bent Tom. What kind of guitar did you get here?
I got a Check Your Sun Valley Super Shredder 3. I can't believe I can spit that out so fast.
And Tom, yours was a Wolfgang
Purple. I guess it's technically an Ernie Ball Music Man Axis. So it's the same. It's same as their Wolfgang, but it's a year later.
Cool.
And apparently, Gary's got a new kid in the garage or something running around there.
Yeah,
Whitey Jr.
Whitey Jr. Yeah, he's not out yet, but he'll be out later. He'll get hungry.
And we also learned today that apparently Tom likes to break the spine of mice or some shit. That's the fucking
Yeah, it's some dark stuff there, man.
Well, now I don't do it
I
at
don't
all.
want to hear it. Shut up. I gotta go.
No.
All right.
You're gonna make me puke, dude.
I wasn't going to say that. All I was going to say is I went to a different
We're
method
gonna
that's
sign
better.
off. People are puking and pulling out spines. So if you want to stay in the green room, stick around for a minute.
Yeah, I'll hang for a minute.
That'll be cool. Thank you.